C.
Thank you, Vice President Barry. The administration recommends the approval of board consent items reflected in Schedule C1 through C7.
C6.
7, you have to refresh.
Thank you. Do I have a motion for? Okay. Yeah. Waiting on mine to refresh as well. So sorry about that. Is everybody set with their? Do I have a second? Cheryl? Trustee Felice? Any discussion? All those in favor? The motion passes. So then now we'd like to invite Superintendent Santana for the superintendent's report.
Thank you. This is a lot of pressure. All right, thank you, Vice President Barry. Welcome to everyone tonight. We're going to go over some just things that have happened in the school district, but I'm really excited to celebrate people's tenure and retirements as well. So we're going to get right to it. I'll begin first with our Vern W. Critz concert that I had the pleasure of attending, and art show. I can't say enough about our music staff and our art staff and the way they inspire our students to perform. The concert at Critz was amazing. It was the first time I saw our students perform with ukuleles. It was ultra cute. So big shout out to our music staff, the staff at Critz, and all the students and family members that support our music programs. This was followed by a concert over at Frank P. Long for our fourth graders who are just embarking on the string instruments in a more formal fashion. And we had a problem. It was a good problem. The problem was we had too many students participating in our music program, so that basically prohibited us from hosting the concert in the courtyard. So we had to move the concert behind the building. As you can see, there were tons of kids performing, and they were fantastic. They did several scales with their instruments, and they just found some pretty difficult scales, but they were like amazing. So big shout out again to our music staff and our staff at Frank P. Long. That was followed, not chronologically, but just in terms of age order, at a concert at our high school, our first of 2 spring concerts, which was fantastic. It featured various performing groups. And again, one of the things I always find really outstanding about South Country is just the sheer number of students who participate in our music programs. It really was fantastic to see our various groups perform there. That was followed by our second spring concert, because one concert isn't enough for all the talent we have in our district. And what I really enjoyed about this concert is they performed the symphony, which is when we combine our orchestra and band together to put some wonderful music together. But one of the selections they picked was called Godzilla Eats Las Vegas, and I was happy to have made a cameo and a slideshow that was put together by one of our students, which was really brilliant and funny, and she actually timed the slides to the shift with the music. So it was a great time, really a fantastic evening. So again, shout out to all of our music teachers, but not just our music teachers, we also had student art display, which is equally as fantastic. We then had our 3rd grade moving up ceremonies, the beginning of our moving up ceremonies, which happened today, this morning in fact. The first one I attended was at Vern W. Critz, which was followed by me attending the moving up ceremony at Brookhaven Elementary School. Once again, the 3rd graders moving up are ultra cute. They did songs for the parents, much to the delight of their parents. We're really proud of our 3rd graders who are going to be moving on to Frank P. Long. I'll be attending another moving up ceremony at Brookhaven tomorrow, as well as the other moving up ceremonies in the subsequent days. We also had an opportunity to celebrate student achievement. First, I had the privilege of attending our annual superintendent's valedictorian's luncheon, where we honored Shiva Shah, who was will be attending Rice University on the Questbridge Scholarship that she earned, one of the very few handful of students across the nation to earn a scholarship, which earned her a full ride to Rice University. She'll be studying mechanical engineering, and she's one of the 3 sisters who graduated Belport High School who are all pursuing engineering degrees. So I'm really proud of Kashiva and our staff for inspiring her and providing the education that prepped her for this milestone. I also had the privilege of attending our college signing day. We have 21 high school athletes that are going to continue to compete at the collegiate level. Some of them at D1 level, some D2, some D3. 21 students is pretty remarkable for a school our size. We're really proud of all of our coaches and teachers who prepped them to continue their competitiveness in college. We also had our senior awards night and scholarship night, which is amazing to have 100+ kids on stage, all being recognized for various things, from their academic achievements to their character traits. It was a great source of Clipper pride. But I have to show you this little photo here, which is small, but that's not Clipper pride, and this is a photo of Rayleigh Pickett pointing at our seats. To give context to that photo, 3 years ago, when I first started as a superintendent, this little sophomore girl came up to me and rushed up to me, all in a tizzy, and she said, "Mr. Superintendent, what are you going to do about this auditorium?" And she actually had a petition together signed by students to refurbish the auditorium. So what I told her was, school districts, public schools work slowly, but after our graduation, June 27th, we'll host an orientation here on June 30th, and then we're ripping everything out and finally renovating this auditorium. So I apologize for the appearance of our seats, but next year at this time, we'll have a brand new and beautiful auditorium. So more South Country happenings, and I do want to talk about us celebrating our diversity. First, I'm going to talk about Unified Basketball. Unified Basketball is just an opportunity for students who have special needs to compete at a high school level. They replicate varsity games where there's officiating and scoring, and the kids were fantastic. I mean, one of the things that's most amazing, and this is a shot, subsequent shots of one of our students scoring 2 points. That's 2 points for Belport. But everybody helps out. The opposing team helps out our players, and what I love about it is it's a win for our entire community, and it's a win for the sense of community and just being there for these children, so they also feel a sense of belonging, and we appreciate who they are. Along those lines, Glen Cove High School and Middle School's GSA Club participated in the Pride Parade, along with our trustee Felice this past Sunday, which is a great event. To celebrate this diversity in people and their identities. We all want our students to feel a sense of belonging. It's one of our core values. So I'm really happy that we got to participate in the Patchogue Pride Parade. This is the first time I actually missed it because I was also participating in a parade. I do want to share this because I participated in the Puerto Rican Day Parade in New York City. I am a member of a Latino fraternity. I am not Puerto Rican. We celebrate Puerto Rican culture. It's just like St. Patrick's Day. Everybody's Irish. On St. Patrick's Day, in New York City, everybody's Puerto Rican during the Puerto Rican Day Parade. So I was happy to represent not just my fraternity, but South Country at this event. I met some of the elected officials. There were rumors that Bad Bunny was around, but I did not see him. And finally, along these lines, I really want to give a shout out to our multicultural club, which is advised by Mr. Ravello Green. 2 of our students, Melissa Vargas and Rosemary Okafor, who's the photograph there, they won Building Bridges Award from the Jewish Community Relations Board of Long Island for work they did to sort of create awareness on anti-Semitism. So all these things together really sort of shine a light on the type of district that we are, where we appreciate all of our differences, we celebrate each other, and we also look out for one another. So I'm really proud of all these accomplishments. So this is only possible through the diligence and hard work of our teaching staff, our support staff, our administrators. So this brings me to our next and more celebratory moment in our board meeting is recognizing our tenure recipients. Just in terms of the way I feel about tenure is basically a vote of confidence. Basically our sort of belief in you and the impact you can make in years to come. I remember being awarded tenure in the various districts I worked in. And the feeling I got basically was a feeling of inspiration. It actually made me want to work harder and do more for my community that really invested in me. So I'm really proud of all the staff members who will be earning this recognition tonight. So as I call your name, I'm just going to ask that you come down to be recognized. We're going to take a group photo. I'm going to call everybody's name, even if they're not here tonight. Some people had some conflicts, but I do want to recognize everybody who was recommended for tenure. First, we have Sarah Bunk from Belport Middle School. Congratulations to her. She cannot be here. Daniel Walsh from Belport Middle School. Leslie Taylor from Brookhaven Elementary School. Anna Maria Chignacki from Brookhaven Elementary School. Emily Diaz from Brookhaven Elementary School. Erica Hawthorne from Brookhaven Elementary School. Diana Macarino from Brookhaven Elementary School. Danielle Marisick from Brookhaven Elementary School. And Mr. Anthony Capeluso from Brookhaven Elementary School. Moving on. She cannot be here tonight, but we want to recognize Clarice Porter from Vernon W. Chris Elementary School. Catherine Janelli from Frank P. Long Intermediate School. Brenda Lanzetta from Frank P. Long Elementary School. Amy Iolucci from Belport High School. Representing our special education department at the South Country Annex, Ms. Jessica Crush. Also representing in her capacity as a chair for special education, Ms. Erin Valentinier. And from our district office, our business official, Ms. Jen Sidini. So at this point, I'm going to default to Ms. Erica Jackson from our PR firm to take a nice group photo for all of our tenure recipients. I don't know if the board members would like to join them. Yes. The board want to make a photo? Congratulations again. Now we're moving on to a group of staff members who are going through something that's somewhat bittersweet, and that is retirement. When I speak to people who are just on the cusp of retirement, I almost feel like they're floating on air. But at the same time, I know it's tough sometimes when you forge relationships with people for many, many years to sort of let those relationships go. But I want to wish all of our retirees a fantastic retirement. Wish you all the best of luck. And this will be a little different. We're going to call you down one by one so your respective administrators can recognize you. So first on our list of retirees is Ms. Susan Sipp. Come on down. And Principal Del Rosa from London.
All right, here we go. So Sue has been in South Country Central School District for over 50 years, starting as a kindergarten student at Vernon W. Pritz Elementary, then as a parent, a grandparent, and a math and computer science teacher at Belport High School for 28 years. She was the valedictorian of Belport High School and the captain for soccer and volleyball, as well as the National Honor Society and Student Council officer. Bellport High School was also where she met and later married her high school sweetheart, Joseph III. After beginning her career in engineering, she began teaching at Eastport and Center Moriches and coaching volleyball at Longwood. Her heart was always in her alma mater, Bellport, and she wanted to help those at South Country. In 1997, she seized the opportunity to teach at Bellport High School to help those who struggled in math and to share her love for problem solving and computer programming. She has enjoyed the challenge of teaching both inclusion and advanced math and computer science classes. She has put her heart into developing challenging courses like Honors Pre-Calculus, AP Calculus, and AP Computer Science. Through the years, she has served as advisor for Student Council and Junior National Honor Society, founded the AP Computer Science program, and served as the Math Department chairperson. With the best interest of students at heart, she volunteered on the National Honor Society Faculty Advisory Council, Bellport High School Eligibility, and other BOE and PTA committees, as well as a parent representative for teams and classes throughout South Country Central School District. As a Bellport varsity football team parent volunteer for 9 years, she organized golf outings, championship dinners, cookie baking, breakfasts, and community service events. When asked about what she will miss most about South Country, she says that she will especially miss the daily interactions with her amazing students and working alongside many dedicated, talented, and caring colleagues. She says, South Country and I will always be part of each other. After years of teaching, there's no limit to the number of fond memories she has. Some of her favorites include inspiring her awesome students with activities like Pi Day, video and recipe projects, raffles, and team contests. She has enjoyed volunteering, the faculty competitions, especially volleyball, Spirit Month, Bellport football, and homecoming. Some of her best memories were made in these roles, where she was able to get to know students, athletes, parents, faculty, administrators, and community members. In retirement, she plans to enjoy hobbies, traveling the world with her husband, reading, and coding. She is especially excited to spend more time with her beautiful family, including her 3 children, Connor, Jessica, and Cole, all kind, caring, and successful Bellport alumni. Their amazing spouses, Sabrina and Maxwell, and 3 bright, incredible grandsons, our future Bellport alumni. When asked what advice she might want to share with the teachers at the start of their career, she says, teaching is a work of pride, spirit, and heart. Work like a captain with diligence and dedication to your students. Play like a pirate with a fun and adventurous spirit in class. Value those who share the storm with you. They are the ones who will help you right the ship. Stay positive, work hard, and make great things happen. Inspire, laugh, and have fun. Take it to infinity and beyond. Sue, I know I can speak for the entire Bellport High School admin team when I can say that you truly will be missed. I want to thank you for all the pride, spirit, and heart you have brought to our building each and every day. You have been a tremendous role model for not just our students, but also for our staff. We wish you the best in your retirement. You certainly deserve it. Congratulations.
Thank you. We're going to just quickly recognize 2 more retirees who did not make it tonight. Mr. Alan Kupperman and Mr. William Lang. A big round of applause for them. They're both Cornell alumni. Big red. Amazing. All right, moving on. We're going to move on to Bellport Middle School. I ask Dr. Colson to join me. First retiree for this evening is Mr. John Delaney.
We're really sad as far as to see Mr. Delaney go. As far as Mr. Delaney has worked in the South Country School District for 18 years. In his last 9 years, he's worked as the chief at Bellport Middle School. I was sharing with him this morning that I've learned a lot from him. As far as his leadership, he's helped grow a department, and he's been able to mentor a lot of custodians that come in as subs or part-time, and they've been able to work their ways in becoming full-time employees, and that's, again, to the leadership of Mr. Delaney. Oftentimes I would see him in the summer, and August comes around. The two hardest parts of school is opening a building and closing a building, and John would always make sure we were ready to go in August, and he's always been able to close out the building. We're just very fortunate for that, and again, for his leadership. Some of his fond memories is I think that he would often wake the rooster up in the morning, because he's always there bright and early. And as far as his fond memories of seeing students as a send-off for the Frost Valley and the DC trips, and being able to support that and making sure that the building's open and ready, as well as also on the vote days, he's there before 5 a.m. and just making things happen. So we are truly going to miss him, but we know that he's going to continue to do well. And also, I really would like to honor him, as he is a Navy veteran. He served and I just, again, want to wish him and his family great success as they move towards retirement. I'm trying to encourage him to be a consultant, just because of his knowledge base it takes years to develop that, and when you have that, you want to hold on to, and so that he will continue to advise. It was great. I'd be on interviews, and he'd be like, "That's right. This one needs a little more work over here," and he knows procedures, knows protocols, has kept everyone safe. He's also my fourth assistant principal. He's a psychologist in the building. He's a social worker. So many times he's a teacher. So many times staff would come and he'd be like, "Dr. Colson already took care of that." Sometimes it wouldn't always be the most pleasant of visits, but he would take care of those things. And again, we are truly going to miss you, and we are very proud to have been able to. I've been proud to be able to work with you for these last 9 years. Congratulations. Mr. Stephen Peterson.
I have to say this before Dr. Colson talks. Students at Bellport Middle School love this man. They love this man. He does this trick with a broomstick. That's all I'll say.
That's okay. Yes, this is it's kind of fitting that the two of them are retiring with no one else in the building. These are true heroes. If you visited Bellport Middle School, you know who Stephen is. He makes his presence felt. He's worked in the district for 134 years. I'm sorry, that was a typo. 34 years. I believe it's 16 on the night and the rest on the day shift. And he is just truly just amazing. The energy that he comes in with and has from morning till day is just amazing. There's nothing that he wouldn't do for a student, for a staff member, for a visitor. It's just when I grow up, I want to be like Steve. So some of his highlights that he's had throughout his year, there's a lot, but this year he was able to be in the school musical, Matilda Jr. I'm not sure how that worked out. I was in the musical the year before. I was waiting for my invite, and next thing you know, Stephen got my part. And Stephen was the chef. As far as in Matilda Jr., he got autographs, he gave me his autograph, and also he kept cooking because he then went on to the Julia Nofi basketball game, and where he's there, and he said that Dr. Aiello gave him an elbow around the foul line, so he went to the free throw line. I'm not sure if him and Dr. Aiello have to work something out before you leave. We do have HR here though, just joking. As far as, but he went to the foul line and all the kids were chanting, you know, your shoelaces are untied. He said he probably would have made it because that's one of Stephen's line that he will go through. So today, I purposely, you can't see, I have buckled shoes, there's no shoelaces, so he's not gonna be able to get me, but he's always gotten me. And you know, Stephen is just truly, truly amazing. He says in his retirement, he's gonna go on our sub list. Not. In his retirement, he's gonna spend time with his family, his beautiful and lovely wife, and just be able to work and relax. I don't know about that. See, he's a worker. We are truly, truly going to miss you, and it's just been a real treat for me these 9 years working with you, and there's nothing else that I can say other than thank you, and we're gonna miss you.
At this point, I'm going to ask Stephanie Rosinski to come on down, and we're going to honor the retirees from Frank P. Long.
I would like to invite Ms. Christine Krakowski. It is a pleasure to recognize Christine Krakowski as we celebrate her well-earned retirement. Ms. Krakowski began her teaching career in 1993 in the Westbury School District, where she worked with students from pre-K through second grade. In 1998, she returned to her roots by joining the South Country School District, teaching 5th grade at Frank P. Long, the very school she once attended as a student. Over the years, Ms. Krakowski served as a math specialist, a 4th grade teacher, and an inclusion team member, always bringing warmth, dedication, and heart to her work. She cherished the friendships she built and often said how lucky she felt to work with such amazing colleagues. Among her finest memories are her years in Cluster B, filled with laughter, learning, and collaboration. Though she's not sure what's next, we know her future is full of possibilities. Thank you, Mrs. Krakowski, for your years of service, your impact on students, and your kindness to all. You will be deeply missed, and congratulations on your retirement. I would like to invite Miss Deborah Pedra up, please. It is my pleasure to honor Deb Pedra as we celebrate her retirement and 24 years in education. 23 of them right here in the South Country Central School District. Ms. Pedra began as a substitute teacher at Brookhaven Elementary School in 2002 and joined Frank P. Long as a 5th grade teacher in 2004. the same year her youngest daughter started kindergarten. She spent 15 wonderful years in Cluster C, forming lasting friendships and creating countless memories, and then continued to bring that same energy and care to 4th grade over the past 6 years. Ms. Pedra has always focused on helping students grow, not just academically, but emotionally, instilling confidence and compassion in every child she taught. From moving up ceremonies and field trips to Cluster C auctions and tug of war, she brought her heart to everything she did. What she will miss most are the connections she's built with her students and colleagues, and without a doubt, they'll feel the same. As she begins this next chapter filled with travel and time with her loved ones, we thank Ms. Pedra for the joy, dedication, and warmth she brought to our school community. Congratulations, Ms. Pedra, you will be deeply missed.
Our next retiree from Franklin Law, Maria Velasquez, could not be here tonight, but I just wanted to give her an acknowledgement and a round of applause. At this point, I'd like to call up Dr. Rebecca Raymond from Brookhaven Elementary School.
First, I want to congratulate all of our retirees as well as all of our tenure recipients. I would like to acknowledge Mrs. Lois Harold. She cannot be here with us tonight, but we wish to thank her for her many, many years of service. At this time, I'm happy to ask Mrs. Greta Kiss if she would come up, please. I've had the privilege of working with Mrs. Kiss over the past several years. She began working in the South Country Central School District in 2010. She worked in both Brookhaven and Frank P. Long as a teaching assistant. Mrs. Kiss has supported our school in so many ways and always sought ways to provide her assistance. She's also stretched herself. Several years ago, we needed assistance with the dismissal and having the announcements being read. And even though that wasn't something typical that Mrs. Kiss would do, she did do it very much willingly and blessed us with so many wonderful memories, such as her jokes, her beautiful voice, and just many, many positive energy that she shared in everything she did. Mrs. Kiss has a way of providing encouragement to both children and adults in their time of need, being empathetic and lending a kind word or support. I was always inspired by Mrs. Kiss's deep faith and resolve in knowing that everything happens for a reason and that things will work out as they should. I thank you, Mrs. Kiss, for everything. It's a pleasure to have worked with you. You'll be deeply missed. Thank you.
All right, at this point, I'd like to welcome up the King of Kramer Kingdom, Principal Sean Klein.
Oh, this thing's wireless?
Figures.
Huge. Okay. Now, at this time, I just like to invite up the very shy, quiet, and timid librarian, Christine Belfin. I say that because I can promise you the one thing you will never hear in Ms. Belfin's library is that stereotypical silence. Because that library is a vibrant place of student discovery, problem solving, and team learning. It's like no other library you've ever seen. South Country was lucky enough to bring Christoph on board in 1999. Most of that time she was the full-time librarian at Kramer. The little splits here and there throughout the years, but for the most part with us. And what I love about her, she's a pioneer for the media, Library Media Center. First of all, Kramer can boast the most modern collection in the district. What's the most modern age now up to now? 2015 is the average collection book. I know. I never really need to use your microphone, you're right about that. Not only that, we also have the largest circulation of any building in this school, the Library Media Center, and that's because Ms. Belford instills our love of reading, our love of literature, that love of learning. She's been a true pioneer in her department, whether it was bringing technology into the Library Media Center, the introduction of makerspaces, which is now in many buildings across, and just has really revolutionized what you think of what the library is. So what I really love about Ms. Belford most though, despite all that, is her universal love of all kids, regardless of their uniqueness, and how much time she gives in her day outside of the library, whether it's letting kids check in with her, see how they're doing, whether it's kids who are earning and they choose time at the end of the day with Ms. Belford in the library and help out with some projects and do some extra maker space, always willing to do whatever it takes to make a child successful day in, day out for the past 26 years. That is what really marks your career, and it was last year you were recognized? Right, and you know that even the excellence that we had for the year, well, you can see why she was received that accolade once, because of her impact on children, and they remember it forever. So Chris, on behalf of the entire Kramer Kingdom, students, staff, parents, we thank you for your liberal love on behalf of our kids. We will miss you much. You will never, ever be replaced with one of a kind, Chris.
Thank you so much.
I don't believe Ms. Gerard is here this evening. Okay, but congratulations, Ms. Nancy Gerard. Nancy actually retired in late June last year, so she kind of missed the reception, but we did want to recognize her this year for many years in multiple buildings to children of South Country. Right now, I'm going to ask to bring up, and we know Cynthia Wilkin, who's also unfortunately unable to make it tonight. Cynthia has been a teaching assistant in the district since 2018. A huge help to this principal, always covering classes whenever we need to, every assignment under the sun. Couldn't be here tonight, but we congratulate Cynthia Wilkin on an awesome career. And I feel like I'm getting supervised tonight, and words out about me. So I'd like to call up right now someone else has been at Kramer a long, long time, Miss Denise Zayas. Denise came to South Country, actually came to Kramer Street in 2004, and has been there ever since. She has worked as an aide, was promoted teaching assistant, and she has been in every class, whether special ed, general ed, every grade level that we have. And each and every assignment is performed just purely exemplary. Proof of this, every teacher wants to say this in their class, and even more profound, every student wants to say this in her class. The relationship's incredible. The kids they run up to her, they see her, they get excited, want to tell her things. Just that kind of person. And she's been a right arm to the principal. For some reasons, unfortunately, I don't let her sleep well after she gets that morning text. Denise, can you cover Miss so-and-so? Denise, can you cover? Ding, ding, ding. Well, where's your husband's side? And waking you up and dinging all notifications. And every single time the answer is yes, 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 yes. So I'm going to add teacher to her list of skills. She's a teacher. Okay, she has been in front of so many classrooms and taken the helm that you really are a true educator in every sense of the word. I think one of the reasons why I also feel like I probably know Denise even better than so many of the staff is because a lot of our assistants have like a morning duty. They're at a certain door for arrival, and Denise happens to have the pleasure of doing the kindergarten go with me. And I gotta tell you, so we chat a lot, we joke a lot, but I mean, she is a trooper because, you know, just like coincidentally, every time it's cold out, it's really raining hard, I somehow have a meeting, I can't be out there. But Denise, rain, sleep, or snow, you're always out there meeting those kids with that smile, no matter how bad the weather. And I'm sure, and I'm feeling terrible that I couldn't be out there with you during that time. It's just purely coincidental. But no, thank you for your 21 years of service here. Denise was moving her family to South Carolina. They have a wonderful house. She made it a point just to rub in that there, for 3 cars full coverage is only $167 a month. She'll do that, but no, really, you deserve this wonderful retirement. Thank you for being so much to so many of these.
Thank you. And to round out our retirees, from Lieutenants, I'm going to call up Ms. Carrie Carson.
I'm going to call it Kimberly Swenson. We had it planned differently, but it's okay. We're flexible. No, yeah. So it's both a joy and a bit of a challenge to find the right words to celebrate someone as unforgettable as Kim Swenson. Kim has worked as a secretary at South Country for 24 years, and for 22 of those years, Kim has been a steady force in the special education office, bringing dedication, precision, and a spark of personality that kept things running like clockwork. It's just the right amount of flair. For the past 13 years, I've had the pleasure not just of working alongside Kim, but also of calling her. Her job isn't one you could just pick up overnight. It's a finely tuned, complex symphony of responsibilities, managing IEPs for every student from kindergarten through 5th grade, setting up all related services and coordinating outside evaluations. It's a lot, but Kim made it look easy, and I'm sure Kim would like to add to that, but she met every challenge head on and kept us on track. Her laughter and her dedication have been a vital part of what made our office run. So Kim, we are all really going to miss you. So as you step into the next chapter, we wish you
Thank you. So congratulations to all our retirees. May the next chapter of your lives be a fantastic one. And before I close out the report, I do want to honor the service of some of our board of trustees that are going to be moving on. First and foremost, our ex officio, Ms. Lauren LaGrega, who could not be here tonight. I just want to wish her well as she embarks on her college career. She's going down to Florida and wish her playing cross. So I just want to congratulate her and thank her for her service as serving as a board's ex officio for the last year. Secondly, I want to acknowledge and have to come up Ms. Tara Kavanaugh. Tara Kavanaugh's tenure as a board trustee is really, for me, been defined by her poise, her intelligence, her even-keeled approach to sometimes we've got into difficult conversations, and think her expertise, being an attorney, just really came through, and she really was a great support to the school district. And it really has been a pleasure working with you, Carol. So sorry I'm being formal a little bit, but I feel like we've grown to know each other. So I want to thank you for your service and provide you with a nice little momentum to remember us by. Thank you, Ms. General. And finally, I want to thank our Vice President, Mr. Joseph Barry, for his service to our school district over the last 3 years. Trustee Barry, come on up. Trustee Barry and I have often gotten into some debates because he's such an advocate for this community and our school district, his kids. I really enjoyed working with him, and it's just his candid way of approaching sort of issues. And many times we've had conversations just about things that could be better, things that are fantastic, and things that we should look forward to doing in the long term. So I certainly will be missed working with you and having you as a member of our team. I wish you all the best. I promise I'll keep my eyes out on your young daughter, Charlotte, as she finishes out her career here at Bellport High School. But once again, thank you for your service in the district. I also want to thank Ms. Camille Mason, Elizabeth Landro, and Patrick Willems, our culinary arts teachers, for the fantastic spread we had at our reception, and all the students who participated in preparing the food, as well as our spring ensemble, which was arranged by orchestra teacher Ms. Julia Valenti. So just a round of applause for those students who participated. There's a lot going on in South Country. Please keep in touch by following our various social media pages. Much as we hate social media as educators, we do use it to promote a lot of the things that are happening in the district. All of these social media handles are available on our website, and I'm also so just by logging on, for community members who want to log on and get messages from the district, you can log on to the community portal. All of our social media links are located on the front page of our website, as well as my superintendent's corner, which is updated on a monthly basis, my contact information, my social media handles, as well as my weekly update or blog that I provide to the school district, which is available to the public as well. And I can't wait, because the next board meeting we would have launched our brand new website. So I can't wait to unveil our new website. It really is beautiful and such an upgrade from what we have now. So I want to thank Ms. Krista Albrecht and our IT team and all the teachers and stakeholders that participated in our website committee to make this a reality. Thank you again for your support to the South Country Central School District, and that concludes my superintendent's report.
Thank you, Superintendent.
Wait, hold on. I think the trustees may want to say some words of encouragement, so if you just bear with us. Just another 5 minutes, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Santana. Before we get to that, I did want to remind everybody, anyone who's interested in addressing the board this evening, to please complete and submit a yellow comment card to the district clerk at the end of the table. And at this time, actually, we'll start from our left and move right. I'd like to invite Trustee Hayes to make any comments at this time.
Congratulate everybody who's retiring for all the years of service that you provided to this district. All the good things that you see around here are a result of your efforts, and we thank you very much for that. For the people who've just gotten tenure, that's some big shoes to fill. So we're looking forward to seeing all the good changes that are going to be in the years. Thank you.
Trustee Felice.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, just to echo the comments again, tonight are bittersweet moments for the people who are retiring, and you're going to find soon that you will not know how you had time to work. And I hope those moments come very quickly to you and that you enjoy all the moments in retirement. And for the people who obtain tenure, we hope that you have a very long time with us here at South Country and enjoy the time that you spend with us. Congratulations to you all.
Now trustee DeLillo.
Hi, I just want to echo the sentiments of my other board members. To those retiring, thank you so much. You've made an impact on so many children's lives, and not only the children that you had in your class, but any of their siblings and their parents. So the impact that you've had is just magnified that much. To those retiring, thank you so much. You guys are great. And those who had tenure, congratulations. Thank you for choosing South Country. And again, just think of all the lives that you're going to impact, not just the students, it's their families that you touch as well. Thank you.
Trustee Kavanaugh.
I'm sure many of you would like to go home, so I'll be short and sweet. My congratulations, my sincerest congratulations to all. Thank you.
And absolutely, everything that they have said, I certainly echo. It has been a pleasure, and thank you for your recognition for having served on the school board for the last 3 years. To the retirees, what an impressive display. Just hearing all the impacts that you've had throughout the years of service. And to those who have earned tenure, you've only just begun. Thank you for your service, and hope that it continues to be everything that you would want in your careers. Excuse me. Okay, so we'd like to move on to item F, items for discussion.
First item for discussion is F1, which is policy 22485. This is the state mandated ex officio student member of the board policy. We're putting this up for a second reading.
So, and a vote. Okay, so I'd like to see if there was a motion to discuss first, or yeah, a motion to pass item F1. Debbie, can I get a second? Trustee Hayes, any discussion?
Discussed this at the last meeting, and I wanted to point out, you had the opportunity to see the sample from New York State School Board Association and the final result after it went through the policy committee that made it more streamlined and directly applicable to us. So I'm glad to see it coming back for a second reading. Thank you.
Absolutely, and I think South Country is one of the early districts in terms of having an ex officio member. I don't know how long that has been the case here, but it's great to be pioneers and to adopt such a policy so well. Any other further discussion? I'd like to, we don't need a roll call, correct? Yeah, okay. All in favor? It's unanimous.
The next item for discussion F2 is policy 5695, students and personal electronic devices. This is actually a first reading, so we will not be voting on it. We presented a draft along with the NISBA sample policy. We also have a draft policy that we're currently working on, which we'll finalize before the next meeting when we present it for a second reading. For those who are not familiar, this is our cell phone policy that must be adopted by August 1st. So we wanted to present it today for first reading. Some of the edits and language you see in the draft that I provided the board is a result of meetings we've had with stakeholders, like several committee meetings. We're also going to bring this policy to our policy committee meeting next week prior to our next board meeting.
Terrific. So this is the first reading. So I'd like to take a motion to acknowledge the first reading.
There's no motion necessary.
No motion.
Anybody has any discussion?
Okay. Any discussion on this item?
Just one question. So many steps have to go into this policy to make it work for our district. We have the ability to tailor it to make it work for us, correct? This is a question to the superintendent.
Sorry, say it again.
That's okay. So we tailor it to make it work for us.
So basically the policy is the overall general guidance with regards to the use of cell phones. So we're having subsequent meetings to talk about what it's going to look like in practice. We're going to be scheduling a parent meeting in July and another parent meeting in August, once we have a solidified plan. The first meeting in July would be to solicit parent input, to see how they feel about, or if they have any concerns with what this might look like. But you're correct, there's a lot of steps to it. So first is the policy, which again is a broad sort of stroke, again, that basically captures our position in terms of cell phone use or electronic device use. And then we're going to modify our code of conduct, which will be approved by the board in September, and then establish the practices. Another thing that we're working on too is to provide resources, because letting go of cell phones can be somewhat difficult for our students. We want to make sure that we provide them with the tools and coping mechanisms to help them navigate a day without cell phones. But I think by and large, the general sentiment is that this is long overdue.
And I would imagine you bring and file, staff members, administration, I'm sure they're.
So our stakeholder
I'm sure
committee.
they're freaking out by now, I would imagine.
No, I think we're all ready to do this. Again, this is a statement
You're
I
ready?
made. So,
They're looking forward to this day?
yes.
All right, good. Fingers crossed.
Okay. So then, the next is to approve, I'm going to seek a motion to approve item F3. Trustee Hayes, seconded. Trustee DeLillo. Any discussion?
There's no attachment to this,
It's an electronic evaluation tool.
so that's the one we just previously used.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Sort of,
Okay.
any other discussion? All in favor? Unanimous?
The next item for discussion.
Actually, before we do that, I did want to, oh, no, you're correct. Continue on.
Next item for discussion is the South Haven pre-K is unserved. So to give some context as to why this is on the agenda, as we're navigating our budget process, we decided to not only look at means by which we can sort of cut down on expenditures, but to try and increase revenue. One of the ideas that was floated was the possibility of leasing out South Haven, the current building where we house our pre-K center, to BOCES. So we did some research, and we met with BOCES to see if there's a possibility of their having some interest in leasing out that space. And they are very much interested. What this represents for us is the potential of generating close to $300,000 or $250,000 in revenue that's represented just by them leasing the space and paying for the square footage, but also in terms of the savings we get from some of the costs that they will assume in terms of the operation of that building. The rental income would be about $260,000 a year, less the maintenance cost is about $65,000 plus custodial salary. So the net fund gain for something like that is close to $100,000. Another thing is that moving our pre-K program, and we would potentially move into CRITS where we have the space to house a pre-K program, would be the fact that we would be able to offset some of our expenditures by virtue of the UPK grant. So that would move our expenditures on that side. We're talking about the prorating of custodian or nurse. And the total grant funds now freed up by this potential move would be about $112,000, which again could be used to offset general fund salaries. And some additional general fund salaries that we're contemplating is the savings in FICA, because we won't be having employees at South Haven, and the family health insurance estimated savings are about $25,000. So the total estimated financial benefit to the district is running somewhere around $245,000. The reason I want to bring it up, because while we're not really restructuring the school district, we're changing our programs. The YMCA will still be running our pre-K program. We'll still have before and after care programs. But I wanted to see whether or not the board would be interested in us pursuing this further so I can have a more formal proposal for our July 1st meeting. Again, the reason there's a certain urgency or we're trying to expedite this is because we are confident we can make it happen for September. That's what the board wishes. And that's what I want to discuss today.
Excellent. So do we need a motion?
No motion, just sort of a green light to pursue this further, and then we can discuss it July 1st.
Any comments from the trustees?
Comments, yes. I'm very apprehensive about this program. You and I, the superintendent and I spoke about this on Friday. We met for 2 hours, not about this topic in particular, but we did have a meeting. And I asked him to walk me through Vern Pritz on where the pre-K center is slated to go. I was on the board when we worked very diligently to create the pre-K center and had a ribbon cutting. It was the year that I left the board for 1 year in 2019. Actually, Ms. Hayes, it was the first year that Trustee Hayes was on the board, and she actually did the ribbon cutting there, and we were so proud of the pre-K center at South Haven and what it represented for this district. And I was so heartbroken to hear that we were moving in this direction. And moving in this direction without any discussion with the Board of Trustees. So I'm pleased that we're talking about it now, but not so pleased that we're talking about doing it for September, especially with the fact that our reorg meeting is on July 1st, and our next meeting isn't until the middle of August, August 13th, I think. And the district is looking to do it for September. And we've seen nothing in writing. The numbers that you just laid out, we have not seen in writing. I'd like to see a written proposal as to how this is going to happen. I'd like to see a written commitment or just a written proposal or idea from BOCES that they're interested in looking at it. We've seen nothing in writing. And I don't know if the parents know of your intentions of going in that direction. So I would just like to see a little more concrete information as to what the plan is. Drop-off and pickup is already cumbersome at South Haven. We've appealed to the county to do a traffic study, to perhaps get a traffic light over there. I think it's going to be even more cumbersome at central office because the drop-off and pickup is going to be where your 30-some-odd employees are going to have to park, and it's going to be right in the middle of your administration office. So I just don't know how it's going to happen so soon. And I think the one of the gems in our district is our pre-K center, and that's how I feel so far.
Appreciate that, Trustee Felice. So basically, the point of today's conversation is whether or not we want to get written proposals. This was an idea that basically manifested itself when we first started realizing our financial challenges and we started looking at revenue streams. So we reached out to BOCES, they expressed interest. But the idea tonight is whether or not you want to us to start formulating an actual plan that we'll put together and provide the board in our weekly updates, and certainly start a communication campaign with parents. Again, we're not changing the program, we're changing the location. Obviously, all the the practical items would have to be worked out, drop off, but there are also benefits that we'll sort of articulate in writing. But at this point, the reason is urgency, because there was a certain amount of urgency that we felt during the budget process. So whether or not we want to try to make this happen for September and have that sort of revenue come in for the 25-26 school year, or the potential of delaying it for the 26-27 school year, but I do think it's something that we should really consider, considering our financial outlook moving forward, our declining enrollment, as a means by which we can raise revenue.
One of the other issues that we discussed when you provided me with the walkthrough is that the pre-K center has a very nice gymnasium area where they do their group activities, where they hold their pre-K graduations, and Vern Pritz has a gymnasium that is pretty well utilized for the students that are already there. And this area where the pre-K center is slated to potentially go doesn't have that area and doesn't have that gathering center. So I'm concerned that they're just basically being like stuck in a corner and not able to have their own identity in the wing, in the yellow wing over at Vern Pritz. And I just don't think they'll be given the attention that they already have at the pre-K center, the way it was designed for them. Another concern, and too much too soon, and if the revenue that's being generated is not going to really, and again, why I think we need to see a written proposal and just how much it's going to generate. If putting good money after bad, how much is it really going to save us? That's what I think the board needs to see and needs to evaluate to determine if it's something that's really worth looking at. Is it going to harm our program more than help the financial dilemma that we may be facing? That's what we really have to evaluate. I'm just afraid that it's going to hurt the program. Another thing that we discussed too is the enrollment. And if I think you mentioned that that over the next several years, we're going to be losing about 66 children. And I do forget how you explained it, so perhaps if you could review what you said to me and put it in the update, as far as enrollment goes. One of the other issues is that I think we were losing enrollment, that families were participating in our pre-K program, but then not enrolling their children in our school districts and going to other school districts. We do still have the dilemma that people are not, that we've learned that people are not enrolling their children in Frank P. Long for the 2 years of Frank P. Long and then bringing them back in the middle school. So we really have to look at those enrollment numbers. If enrollment is really affecting our the amount of children that we have in our district, and if that is controlling some of the revenue issues that we have. So if you could provide that to the Board of Education this week. And this week, you know, one of the issues that you and I are going to go through is adversity. We had a lot of adversity over our budget process this year. And adversity is indication. And we can't be afraid of that. And we're not going to be afraid of it this year. We have to dive deep into our numbers. And if our numbers are going to start with looking at the pre-K program, then okay, let's start there. But let's really dive into those numbers and what they mean. And let's not ruin a program that is stellar. I mean, we have people on a waiting list to get into that program. Do we not? I mean,
We have people waiting on us every year.
we have some people on the waiting list every year because it's a great program. And so let's not forget that. And let's not forget that we have a stellar program in our pre-K program. So let's not be penny wise and pound foolish.
So, thank you, Trustee Felice. The other thing that I want to add is, certainly, I think you're actually supporting the superintendent, even though it may not sound like it, is that it's good. Let's bring forward ideas. Obviously, I'm not part of that decision-making for next year, but I do think it's important, it's urgent, and it really is what a lot of people are calling for, is to make sure that we're investigating all of these ideas. And, I applaud Superintendent Santana on bringing forth an idea to consider and to flesh out. So I, for one, certainly would applaud bringing forth a proposal on what that could mean for our district. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's sort of expedited. I appreciate that. I think one of the fringe benefits of having a pre-K program in one of our elementary schools is that students will already be enrolled in our building and will have access to more facilities at Critz, because they will have access to our gym, our cafeteria, and our playground. So there's a little fringe benefit on that end. In terms of enrollment, I want to thank the BTA. I'm going to acknowledge them July 1st. They also went over to Head Start to talk to families there to encourage them to register their students in our kindergarten programs here. So I'm really thankful for Pat Brady and his team for going to Head Start this week. I wanted to include it in my superintendent's report. I just got the photos yesterday, so I was a little delayed. And just to explain the enrollment piece, our high school classes are over 300, so each time a high school class graduates, our enrollment goes down. So it's not necessarily families not registering or moving their kids out of Frank P. Long, even though that's true for a handful of students. It's just the fact that the sizes of our overall classes are smaller. So our 9th grade is 200 and change, and every subsequent grade after that is in the 200s versus what we've been accustomed to, students ranging in the 300s.
Any other comments on this? Okay. Sorry.
I would appreciate hearing more about the proposal, because there's a part of me that sees how that could work to the benefit of the district, both financially and getting the children and their families more directly involved in our elementary schools right from the beginning. And if I heard your numbers correctly, it's close to $1 million a year between the savings and the revenue that,
I think one correction, it's about $300,000, $250,000.
well, 250, you said 250 plus 55.
Those, I was itemizing it, in the end, I just want to be clear, it's about $250,000.
That would be the net.
And then, okay.
Okay, but there were other issues that I mentioned with you when we last spoke about other savings that could be looked into, namely the food service and things like that.
We currently deliver food to South Haven for our preschool students, so they don't have access to the cafeteria, so that would be a fringe benefit.
I would like more information. It seems on the one hand, like 6 years ago when there was the ribbon cutting, in one way it feels a long time ago, but in another way it feels very, not too far in the past. But there have been big changes within the district in that 6-year period.
Right.
So I think it's certainly worth evaluating and looking into what alternatives there may be, particularly if it's bringing in some money and streamlining services.
And then moving forward, we're gonna have much larger discussions as to what the future of the school district is gonna look like in response. But that has to involve, obviously, conversations with board trustees, and community members, and stakeholders, as we sort of anticipate continually dropping enrollment.
Thank you. Any other comments on this? Yes.
I too would like more information, but I also, had the benefit of my children attending pre-K when pre-K was in Brookhaven. So I saw how it worked in an elementary school, not as a separate building, and felt that it was very inviting to the kids to be in a school that some of them were going to be staying at for the next 3 or 4 years. So, I do see a benefit of how it worked, how the kids reacted to being in the building, but I would love to see, again, more information on how it would work at Prince.
Absolutely, we'll put that together for you. And let's be honest, South Haven is a beautiful space. So it's not an easy decision, but we have to make some difficult decisions. Certainly, I don't think we're going to compromise the integrity of the program. But it's a matter of how do we make it work, and how do we maximize the space, and certainly consider all those things that you mentioned, Trustee Felice, like the drop-off, our start times, etc.
Perfect. Thank you all for this important discussion. Now, I do need to retreat on our agenda because of public commentary. I did receive a card following that agenda point. Excuse me. So public commentary occurs twice during our meetings. First, in the beginning of the agenda on agenda items, to which I have one, and then second at the end of the meeting for non-agenda items. Comments from each speaker or the speaker, in this case, are limited to 3 minutes. The total time for a public session is limited to 30 minutes. Comments relating to a personnel matter or individual students will not be entertained in public. Public commentary is a time for the board to hear comments from the public. It is not a question and answer period between the board and the public. If asked, informational questions requiring short answers will be addressed. However, the board will not enter into a dialogue with a speaker during public commentary. And district residents who seek additional information will be guided to an administrator who will address their questions or concerns. That being said, I'd like to ask PTA President Patrick Brady to come forward. Yes, I think so. Sorry for the long term.
Thank you. My name is Patrick Brady, President of Belleville Teachers Association. First, I want to congratulate everyone who received tenure this evening and those individuals who have all retired. What I want to address is what's coming up is between the BTA and the BTAA, there are 20 people being accessed today, 17 of them being my members. You go further on in the agenda, there are increases to central office salaries. My concern is this: I think everyone deserves what they should be paid. But is right now the time for them to earn these salaries? I'm asking the board to pause, revisit, and look again. I have people who are worried about paying health insurance, paying their mortgages. When I'm asked to negotiate deals, I do it to benefit the community, to benefit my organization, to benefit the student. Please, put a pause on these raises. Everyone deserves their money. Just do it at a different time. Right now, we cannot afford to lose so many educators. That's all I wanted to say. Again, I appreciate everyone. Congratulations again on your tenure, on your retirement, and hopefully we can work together to bring some of these people back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to curriculum agenda items. The administration recommends approval of curriculum items reflected in schedules G1 through G5.
Do I have a motion for G1? Trustee DeLillo, do I have a second? Trustee Kavanaugh? Any commentary? Discussion? Terrific. All in favor? It is unanimous.
I'm breaking up the next agenda item. So the administration recommends approval of personnel changes reflected in schedules H1 through H25.25 and H26.3.
Excellent. Do I have a motion? Trustee Kavanaugh? Do I have a second? Trustee DeLillo? Any discussion?
H1 through H25.25 and H26.3.
Any other discussion? We all set? Okay. All in favor? It passes unanimously.
Administration recommends approval of personnel changes reflected in schedules H26.1 and H26.2.
Do I have a motion? Trustee DeLillo, second. By Trustee Kavanaugh. Any discussion? All in favor? Against?
In favor, yes.
Yes.
I'm in favor.
According to is in favor. Any, no abstentions? So the motion passes. I got one, yes. What is it, 4-1?
Okay, moving on to business agenda items. This is also broken up. The administration recommends approval of business items reflected in schedules I1 through I29.
Excellent. Do I have a motion?
Can I repeat that?
Oh, right.
So let me just reset. I'll restate it.
Yeah.
The administration recommends approval of business items reflected in schedules I1 through I10.
Okay. And do we use that?
We'll do multiple votes.
Okay. All right. All in favor of I1 through I10? Trustee Kavanaugh? A second? I apologize. I fouled that out. I have a motion from Trustee Kavanaugh. Do I have a second? Trustee Hayes? Any discussion? All in favor? And unanimously passes.
I'm going to go back to item 11 at the end. So next, the administration recommends approval of business items reflected in schedules I-12 through I-29, in addition to I-31.
Everybody already followed that. Can I get a motion for that? Trustee Kavanaugh, second. Trustee DeLillo. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes unanimously. Small injuries.
And finally, the business agenda items, the administration recommends approval of business items reflected in schedules I-11, which requires a roll call vote.
That's the district clerk to lead the roll call. Could we get her microphone turned on?
Administration recommends acceptance of the tax anticipation note resolution set forth in the agenda before you. We're doing a roll call vote. I'll start with Ann Hayes. Cheryl Felice.
Yes.
Tara Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Debbie DeLillo.
Yes.
Joe Barry.
Yes.
Chris Puccini is absent from the vote. So it passes. Thank you.
Thank you, District Clerk. One more recommendation. The administration recommends approval of business items reflected in schedules I-30.
Right. Do I have a motion for item I-30? Trustee DeLillo, second. Trustee Kavanaugh. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? And no abstentions. Item passes. So now we have the second public commentary. Do we have any cards? No. Okay. Thank you. I'd like to begin actually on the other end of things with any closing remarks by board members. So we'll start on your right, my left, with Trustee Kavanaugh.
Yep, just very briefly. I'd like to say thank you to all of my colleagues for the past 3 years. It's been a great pleasure and an honor. I've been so impressed with the dedication and expertise of our staff and teachers and our central office staff. I am sad to leave, and I'm glad that I had an opportunity and just thank you.
Thank you. Trustee DeLillo. Go down to Trustee Felice next.
Yes.
Since the last time we met, I enjoyed the Gulfport Memorial Day Parade, and want to say the parade was made, it was what it was because of the participation of the students of Bellport, of South Country School District, the Bellport Middle School Band, the Bellport High School Band, the dance teams, those who provided taps at the memorial service at the cemetery, all were a fantastic addition to that parade and did a wonderful job. The Vern Kritz concert, the Frank B. Long concert, and as the superintendent said, we outgrew the courtyard already.
Yeah.
Truly amazing, but wonderful time. Again, the meeting that I had with the superintendent this week, we've made some meaningful progress on, I think, the direction that we will go in for the next school year, and looking forward to it. Again, not with an adversary, I can't say it. Adversity, yes. You know, adversity is a great sparring partner, and we have a lot to discuss going on for the next year, and I look forward to that with great anticipation. Pride weekend this week was remarkable. We have a lot to be proud of. We have a lot to be afraid of. I was really welcomed by a parent from a student who graduated last year, who had a lot of struggles, and I really want to thank the staff here at the high school who gave that family the support that they needed for their student who was struggling, and they came to that Pride Parade last year and helped their family member identify with what they needed to identify. And they were back at this parade this year and were just so happy and loving and accepting. And it's a credit to this high school for what they did for that family. I can't express to you enough what you did for that family. And they were back there just as happy as they were last year, if not happier. So thank you for what you did. Our presence is very needed because they identify with people who they identify with, and it makes for good camaraderie that they know that they belong. And that's all they need. They just need to know that they belong and people see them for who they are. So that's a little bit about Pride Weekend. Scholarship Night, how did you get it done in less than 2 hours, Principal? It just went off without a hitch. It was so great. Another scholarship night, job well done. Today was Brookhaven Moving Up ceremony, and again, went off without a hitch. 2 committee meetings that took place, facilities and finance and health and safety. A lot was discussed that were the same. Sorry that kids are causing practical jokes in our schools that are causing much damage to our restrooms. Through TikTok jokes, not funny, but you're handling it well, and I appreciate the work that is being done. Also, our district emergency response plan is up on the website and is required to do for the 30-day requirement, and that we will adopt this year. So anyone who needs to look at that, please do so. And happy to see that the camera and door readers are being installed that we approved through our capital improvement, our capital reserve vote that was approved so overwhelmingly by our district. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Trustee Hayes?
It has been a year with a lot of changes and a lot of some difficulties, but I think I want to commend our administration for navigating the difficulties with as much grace as possible under the very trying circumstances. So I want to thank you for that. And again, every time I come to an event where we've got music or we have the culinary program, I'm just really gratified to know that this is something available to our students. I think that Bellport High School has an exceptional program, particularly in the music department. So I'm gratified for that, and I do look forward to going into next year with whatever changes need to be addressed, with the confidence that they will be addressed in a careful, thoughtful, and caring way. So thank you again.
Thank you. And lastly, it certainly has been a pleasure to serve the district in this way. 3 years ago, I ran for the school board because I wasn't happy with what I was seeing in the classroom and some things that I've experienced with my children. I still think there's so much more that can be done, but equally, there are so many things to be proud of, and so many things that the district is doing, and the people in it. I certainly want to thank all of the teachers, the staff, the administration of the district. It has been a pleasure to serve. I'm not going anywhere. This is a community that I chose to live in. This is a community that I care about, and I'm going to continue to do that and to continue to be involved. And the experience of serving on the board is one that certainly opened a lot of eyes, opened my eyes wide. But beyond that, it has been a pleasure to see those who truly care. I certainly want to thank Trustee Kavanaugh we came in together and we're going out together. But from that standpoint, I certainly want to wish my fellow board members success in continuing. bless you. And also want to welcome and wish all the best to the new board members, and may you continue. My one wish for everyone is to continue on the strategic planning, to continue on the efforts to engage the community and all of the stakeholders of the district to make it the best district that it can be. And then my hope is that overall we'll continue to grow and better serve the next generation of Bellport Clippers. Thank you.
Just a quick word, since this is our last board meeting of this school year, is I'm super excited about the implementation of our strategic plan, our action plan, which will launch. We'll start putting the final touches on. We'll talk about it tomorrow at our strategic planning meeting. We do have a final plan together, and we're looking forward to launching it on Conference Day. Basically, it's going to be our North Star for the next 5 years. We have very specific goals and measurable goals that we'll be working towards. I also want to give sort of credit to my cabinet, who really came together during this really difficult year. We engaged in really difficult conversations and debates. I also want to acknowledge my administrators who are still here. It was not an easy year. But one of the things I heard from a fellow superintendent, which I sort of subscribe to, is that the road to purpose is not paved in comfort. And we're going to have challenges ahead and adversity, as Trustee Felice said. But I'm confident that coming together, all of our stakeholders in the community, we're going to be able to accomplish great things. We're looking to do a lot more sort of things that's going to sort of seek out community input, and we start forecasting what South Country is going to be sort of embarking on in the next few years. But adversity inspires me. It's been the story of my life. Not that I enjoy it, but I'm in the middle of it. You sort of suffer through it. But at the end of it, when you come out of it, you feel a sense of accomplishment. And I do want to give sort of an empathetic sort of a gesture to all the people who are adversely affected by our sort of challenges this year, just our financial challenges. But I'm looking forward to a more robust, budgetary process that's going to start a little earlier, so that we sort of can go through this together. But I'm confident that we're going to continue doing those great things. We're still going to be making improvements. And finally, the road to excellence has no finish line. This will be ongoing work forever. Thank you all for your support.
So, with that in mind, can I get a motion to conclude this evening's meeting? Trustee Kavanaugh, perfect way to do that. Seconded by Trustee DeLillo. All in favor? Thank you and good night.